what was the first Lot 71 job?
The first was a fashion show. It was the Y3 Adidas fashion show.
The Hunter College one?
It was the Bank Vault show.
Yeah, okay.
It was in September of 2005. It was the first Y3 Adidas show in New York. I think they may have done something in the early 90s, late 90s, but they took several years off, and this was their kind of return to New York City on a larger scale. It was down at the Cipriani space, 55 Wall Street, which is an old bank building.
Oh, and therein
the
lies
idea of
the Bank Vault
idea. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think of a few other I've seen. A few Miss 60 shows, which were other fashion shows.
Yeah, in 07, 08, I landed the client of Miss 60, and I worked on 5 shows for them. And they eventually brought me to Rome in May of 08 to work on a large event for them.
Was that the VW bus one?
That was the second show I did for them here in New York, actually.
Okay.
When you wear leopard skin, you're like a voodoo queen. My soul wanders in trees, and your demons are leaves.
But after the VW bus show, which was the fall-winter 2008 collection, the client called me in March of 08, last year, and invited me over to Rome to do this large kind of in-house trade show for the company.
Cool.
In Rome.
Yeah, well, one of my personal favorites that I've seen is the most recent Isaac Mizrahi show.
Right, exactly.
Which
was September of 08.
Of 08.
Yeah.
Based on?
Olafur Eliasson. I think he's Danish?
Danish, yeah.
Danish.
He is.
The Danish installation artist, yeah.
Who had just gotten done with a MoMA installation,
Exactly.
PS1 installation, and then the famous New York City waterfalls, which I believe were
last summer.
6 of them last summer, the summer of 08, which was loved and hated by many of the people here. But I actually was fortunate enough to see the MoMA installation, which he was using very bright yellow lights, like in corridors, tight spaces, like narrower spaces to basically kill color. But the nice birthing process for you in that show was you used kind of the same effect to kill.
Yeah, Isaac had approached us, myself and the lighting designer, with the concept of transformation. That his collection for Spring Summer 09 was going to be about transforming from something ugly and moth-like to something beautiful and butterfly-like. So stemming off this idea of the Olafur Eliasson exhibit, where he had a room of sodium vapor light, which is only one wavelength of light, so there's no color. He wanted the models to walk through 3 color temperatures of light: black light, UV, sodium vapor, and then incandescent. So that the focus would be first on the cut, the silhouette of the clothing.
Sure.
And the fabrics would be, indistinguishable from one another, but it's more the shapes. And then as the girls, they walked around a kind of a wraparound U-shaped runway. And as they came into the incandescent light, then you'd realize what the colors were. So it was all about transformation.
Yeah. Really effective, beautiful.
They work quite well.
I've seen the videos that you've shown me and stuff, but really smart, really intuitive.
Thanks.
I think. And I suppose that asks another question. I mean, so where is your, I don't know, working in these very temperate temporary spaces, like a fashion show, which is 10 minutes, versus the performing arts, where you may have, I've seen some of your other stagings, like Merchant of Venice, Streetcar, beautiful set design that actually is going to be up for 6 months, a year.
Exactly.
do you go about the creative process and creating the narrative and the story in a different way for that? I mean, are you looking at longevity? Or are you looking at the most like, bang for the buck on something that's gonna be 10 minutes?
Yeah. It's curtailed to industry. I mean, fashion shows are really a product placement.
Sure.
And it is just that experience of a 10-minute music video almost.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
In the performing arts, regional theater, the shows run 4 to 5 weeks. Commercially on Broadway, they could run a month, they could run 2 years, they could run 5 years, they could run 10, For more longevity in terms of my career arc and where I'm trying to go, I'm certainly looking for projects that are more permanent installations.
Sure. Does that err then more on like fine art? I mean,
I think it errs on or leads more in the direction of architecture.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in public spaces. If you think about the PS1 space that MoMA runs over in Queens, every summer in that open air plaza, they do that live installation every summer where they hire a young architecture firm to design something that's temporal, something that's sustainable, maybe environmentally focused. But that's a particular project that really fascinates me. That would be a public space that's used for 4 months during the year.
And that's something you're moving towards or would like to be?
Absolutely, yeah.
Further.
I'm networking to find that opportunity.
Sure.
Yeah. But I guess to answer your question, the work I do is custom tailored to the industries. I mean, whether it's a temporal installation or whether it's a permanent installation.
Yeah. As it has to be.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
you're being hired for.
It's really at the end of the day, what story are you telling?
Sure.
And
like
that's what
the bank
dictates.
vaults. The bank vaults are very. I mean, the Y3 show
Yeah.
is a good example of that.
Yeah.
I mean, using your space,
Exactly.
the area of the city that you're in, and
and
running
that narrates. And that's something I'm really proud of in the work I do, that I take the physical space and it really does dictate, the unique character of that space dictates the choices I make as a designer.
And another great example is as the other Y3 show you did.
In the gymnasium.
That was at
Hunter College
Gymnasium, which, the scoreboard, the digital clocks.
Exactly.
And even the way, like, how as I recall, like, the models, they'd walk and then walk onto a runway. They'd carry them.
There
for
were
a portion
conveyor
of
belts on it.
belts.
It was another wraparound runway that followed the perimeter of this basketball court.
Yeah.
And so it was about ball sports and motorsports. The walls of LED clocks referenced, shot clocks, time counters.
Sure.
The pacing of the music and the lighting was all very fast paced. So
yeah, beautiful. I mean, beautiful show.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Thanks.
Very cool.